Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Lone Pine Profit. Hope you guys are all having a great start to the morning. As of right now, I'll show you overall or monitor. You guys can see that I have no open positions, haven't sent in one order or anything like that. Looking at /NG, we could see that I had a really strong push up about an hour and a half before the market opened. Overall broke its pattern right around 5:30, which is right around 1 hour before the market opens in my area, and you can see that it's just doing a lot of consolidation. Um, I'm gonna just give it a little bit more time for it to identify its direction. I think that natural gas is extremely overbought, and that it's due for a pullback. But as you guys, okay, so /NQ, which is like the overall general market. So Apple and all that should be, wow, what the? That's different. Let's see. Here we go. Can you guys see my screen okay? Is everything populating okay? Can you guys hear me okay as well? Yeah, we're all good. Okay. Um, if you guys can tell, it was really like last night where um, I think I'm pretty good, but started like getting a sore throat and a little bit of a fever. But again, I do apologize for the delayed live stream. But looking at how things played out, especially since 6:30, there's just been a lot of consolidation and no true direction of where it's going. So one thing that I'm gonna try to do is set my series of alerts right now. I see natural gas to be a little bit more on the overbought side. Can you guys guess what is it that you guys think that I'm gonna be waiting for? What would you make out of this? Looking at previous patterns, looking at how it was down here, it pushed up, looking at the current price point, what do you think I want to do? Break below the middle VWAP, right? What do you think I want to pay attention to? You guys or D guys? Damn, Rick, you look super sick. Yeah. Right? Does it make sense though, right? So why would I want to pay attention to as of right now? I mean, it is natural gas that's trending up. So maybe you guys would be something that would be of value to a lot of people. One thing that I really like to do is I like to focus on good deals. So it makes sense to me. There we go. So nice little push up on natural gas, meaning that this thing's going to be pulling back a little bit. Let's see where it goes. /. There we go. So we can try to partake in these in this uptrend pattern if you think the margin of profit is worth it. But I necessarily don't see the margin of profit to be worth it. So what I'm going to do is actually quite the opposite. And I'm going to go in as of right now just with 100 shares. I'm going to turn on my level 2 so I can see where people buying and selling. And I still want to make sure that I get a good deal. So right now I'll put it at 103.85 and then I'll send it. So limit order 100 shares at 103.85. Didn't get filled. But we'll go back over here. There we go. Nice little push up. Again, looking at just previous patterns for natural gas. Right? It's just the general understanding of hey, am I getting something that's on the overbought side, on the oversold side, and stuff like that. Let me move this on a little bit over just so I could see your guys' questions at the same time. There we go. It looks like it pushed up nicely. Here it goes. The bid is starting to come back down. Wow, congratulations, Rob. Congrats. Looks like it is finding a support around this general area. Oh, of course, we're good. Just have to drink more water. Yeah, so we're getting some consolidation right around the 104 price point. I think that'd be pretty safe to say. I'm just gonna wait off on it and hold it there. It's not like it's actively pushing up or anything like that. But we're good. So, is there anything? So I see a couple of you are paying attention to something else. There we go. So nice little push up on ticker symbol DGAS. So I'll just go in 100 shares and see if I get filled. This should be right around 118. Ricky, you seem to get sick a lot. Yeah, I know. It's all good. We're good. /UC is breaking below the 15 EMA. Okay, nice. Eye over here, right? /UC is breaking below the 15 EMA. Looks like it just continuously gets rejected. Right? It's still trending above the SMA line as of right now, so just gonna wait out for that. Appreciate that, Felix. Yeah. There we go. Looks like it really is trying to push up. All right, we got filled at 104.41. Well, yeah, Joshua, I do agree. So Ricky, I personally feel and I personally don't understand /NG right now. There's too much consolidation to identify a clear direction. I 100% agree with you. Looking at /NG, it's not actively for the past hour trending up, or it's not actively trending down. It's just overall within the, looking at the bigger charts, a little bit more on the overbought side. And yeah, I do agree. It's still validating the middle VWAP as a support, and this general area of 2.70 as a resistance. So that does make sense. But I'm just trying to focus on, making sure that I get in for a good deal. And then if it does continue to show signs of an uptrend and the natural gas does begin to sell off, then I can add more to my position size. So I'm up a whole $32. All right, here we go. CSIQ. Very low volume. Okay, it's showing signs of a potential reversal. I see that. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI. It almost makes sense on why it can begin to sell off again. Right, so just keep a close eye on that. But on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, just looking at previous highs and previous lows, that's all I could really go off of. So if the 5 day, 5 minute chart, yeah, that's a nice little uptrend pattern, but the SMA line is normally what validates it to be a support, which is a better deal. So I would just make sure that you understand like the entries and the exits and stuff like that, and the overall low points and high points. There you go. Here's some Levi. What's going on, Johnny? Right. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. We set a series of alerts, so it's a little bit more. So I would consider like this general price range from like, 21.25 to 21.75 to be, where it tends to bounce at based off a previous bounce. So now we just have to wait for the direction to change. So that's kind of something I would wait out for. What's going on, Robert? What's up? What's up? Tesla approaching it being oversold. Nice. Yeah. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, it did a really nice job, just like with Apple right now, pushing up. So there we go. A lot of consolidation just around this general price range, right? About a 1% margin. Apple, showing signs of it being a little bit more on the overbought side. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I could see this. Due to the margin of profit, right? 2%, nice. 5 day, 5 minute chart. Yeah. I would just make sure that it really begins to change its overall direction, and that on this one you don't just try to buy the dip, because this one can continue to sell off. Yeah, so let's just make sure we're really patient on the entry on this one. Here we go, /CL. Wow, this one's nice. Really nice push up, a lot of consolidation. This could be another one. It's a little bit more on the overbought side. So the direction was it trending up, but now showing signs that it can potentially pull back. So I'm gonna wait out on this. Try to see if I can get in here. Yeah. Let's see. Oh wow, I didn't think it was gonna get filled. Okay. Alright, and then there I'm done with my entry point. So can you break down /CL? Yeah, didn't I just talk about it? Was that it or no? I don't know if you sent the message before that. So wow, huge push up on natural gas. So huge pullback on degas. Degas went from 103.70 to 103.25. So when /CL pulls back, which ETFs do you look at? So when this thing is uptrending, that means that UWT is uptrending. That means that DWT is trending down. So /CL, where is it? UWT. There we go. It follows this pattern, right? So now UWT is overbought, and now we pay attention to if the inverse or the change of direction does happen, then it almost makes sense on why to pay attention to, UWT or DWT. Huge push up on you guys. Let's see. Wow, that's a really nice push up. Haha, congrats. Alright, now it's kind of just a waiting game. Let's see. TNDM just broke above $62. Yeah. Yeah, Francisco. That was me buying the dip right on my position. So I'm already in with 250 shares, on ticker symbol Diaz. So I'm just gonna leave it at that as of right now. And then once, if and only if, right, you guys begins to sell off, again the range that I'm kind of seeing you guys play out is this. So there we go. What do you think about you guys as a swing trade? I'm waiting on the 180 day. I wouldn't say it's been consistent enough in my eyes to show that it's ready for a swing trade. Yeah, I still would not. So it was actively downtrending, getting rejected by the SMA line, and today's the first day where it's pushing up above the EMA line enough to almost think it's a reversal. I just wouldn't hope on it, especially if the RSI and the MACD begin to peak out. So I'd be a little bit more patient. There we go. Justin, what is it that you're trading? Let's start with that. So Justin, you're saying that you want to set your series of stop loss, but you keep getting stopped down. You think you're setting it too close. I first want to understand what you're trading, especially for a swing trade. All right, CDNA last week. All right, let's do this. Okay. Well, first of all, the direction is not in your favor, right? So I don't know essentially like if this was a position that you wanted to get into it or anything like that. So there's a pattern here, but it was still selling off. So regardless how tight or how loose a stop loss would be set, you would most likely get stopped out because the overall direction is not in your favor. One of the main focuses that I want to have, especially for a swing trade, is making sure that it, shows that continuous uptrend pattern. And once that, so like let's say this for example, right? This would be a perfect, which there's not always a perfect picture trade, but it'd be almost something like this. So it's sold off, right? It consolidates and then breaks above the EMA line, and then it begins to make higher highs. What's the pattern that we see here? Well, it's uptrending and it's validating the EMA line as a support. So you can continue to add to your position size. When would it make sense to cut losses? Maybe when it breaks below the EMA line, as that would be a break of pattern. So there's a reason behind that stop loss, right? But as long as it continues through with this uptrend pattern of making higher highs and higher lows, then the stop loss won't get triggered, right? Does that make sense? So what I like to focus on is either cutting losses when there's some form of change of direction or break of pattern. As originally I must have, when it comes down to justifying a swing trade, there has to be some form of pattern or direction that it previously had for me to even consider that swing trade. Let me know if that made sense. Oh, Felix, congrats. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate that, Justin. Thank you. So I know that you don't have weed stocks, but take a look at MBEV. Just announced a partnership with Walmart. Like, how legit would that partnership actually be? Is that oh okay? I just yeah, that's really yeah. I just still struggle to um yeah. I would still kind of just struggle to try to justify getting in, especially for swing trade. And just being completely honest, it could be due to lack of knowledge in marijuana companies. I've had a bad experience because I see them to share a lot of fake news, and it normally doesn't last. And just looking at previous patterns and looking how the SMA line is it descending, it's descending and most likely acting as a resistance, like it would kind of make sense on why we would, why it would begin to pull back at this general area, especially as right now NBEV, if that partnership, regardless if it's true or not, um, it's very relevant right now. And because it's very relevant, you could simply see on the 5-day, 5-minute chart the change, right? The difference between the volume of right now and how it normally trades, right? So because of that, I know that MBEV is very overbought, very overextended. It's trending right now. Once it becomes less relevant, what's gonna happen? It will most likely pull back, and once that news becomes less relevant, that will follow. So. CIEN. Go. Okay. Still downtrending, no signs of an uptrend pattern. It's approaching its previous support. Out of every stock that I've broken down right now, I don't know why this one would be something that would, just the easiest way to put it is, again, you're given 3 opportunities if you're under the PDT rule to take advantage and of the ones that are like worth the most to you, right? The direction is not super clear on this. It's not like consistently trending up, nothing like that. It's downtrending, and it's consolidating around this general area, so the margin isn't even that big. So this just would not be something that I would have a huge focus on, in my honest opinion. So Ricky, can you clarify your thoughts on a stop loss? What is your logic staying into DGAS right now? /CL just broke above. Wow, this thing's still pushing up. Yeah, I'll definitely talk about it. There's no break of pattern that I see to have happened just yet. I knew that I was getting in when natural gas was still pushing up. Let's just give it a little bit for it to load. All right, nice little push up on that. Looking at the previous price ranges, you could see around the 2.70 to around this middle view up. That this is really where it was consolidating. It did push up. So if this pattern does continue and does continue to make higher highs, then yeah, I'd consider the idea of cutting losses. But as of right now, I still see it extremely overbought, overextended. It just needs a little bit more time for it to sell off, and then I can probably make a better trade decision off of that. So I just still need to understand that, looking at previous highs, this is somewhere where it's traded out before. It just went a little bit higher. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. Good morning, Philip. What's up? What's up? Mm-hmm. Rob, what are you using? Are you using Robinhood or TD Ameritrade? Wow, congrats, Sam. TD Ameritrade. So no, it just probably means that you have a margin account. So what that means is you could buy and sell. You're still under the PDT rule. So you sold your positions, and I mean you're still able to day trade, but you could only day trade 3 times within a 5-day period. It just makes that's a feature or a benefit of being in a margin account is right after you sell your position that the funds become available right away. When in a normal cash account that's not under the PDT rule, it normally takes about 3 days for it to settle, or it takes 3 days for it to settle. So, are you going to swing trade anything soon? As of right now, no. I haven't really looked into anything that's consistent enough for me to swing trade. But once I do, I mean, I love how excited you guys get when I swing trade. I feel like a lot of people just really like it. And trust me, like, of course, if I could swing trade and create that content for you guys, once a week, right? And just have that be something that we follow up with, great. But I just haven't seen the market to be consistent enough. So just because I want to swing trade doesn't necessarily mean that I should, right? Um, so you could check your overall like P&L under monitor, or you just turn on active trader and it'll populate and it'll show your P&L. There we go. Validated the EMA line as a support. Yeah, I could see why, Justin. LEBU and CALM. Alright, looks like we're seeing a nice little cup and handle pattern. I would watch out for this though. I mean, it's a little bit more on the overbought side anyways now, so it's too late for me to get in. But yeah, as this thing is pushing up, just watch out for the SMA line resistance or the top VWAP overall 100. Yeah, and especially just looking at previous highs makes sense on why it's a little bit more on the overbought side. So a good call out on that though. CALM. There we go. Nice little uptrend on the 1-day 1-minute chart. Pretty low volume, so yeah. A lot of consolidation, no higher highs yet. So there's videos that I've made, and they're included in the course from a cash account to a margin account, and I mean, biggest difference is a cash account. You have to wait 3 days for your cash to settle, right? So you have to think about is that something that's of convenience to you, or with a margin account, you don't have to wait 3 days, but you're under the PDT rule, which means you can only day trade 3 times within a 5-day period. But you're able to use that whenever it is that you want, right? As long as you only do 3-day trades. Anyone watching /CL? Let's see it. Huge push up. Right here, the news, live news on the right hand side, and then it populates right here, so I can turn this off and on. Right. Let's go down the list. Let's see kind of how everything else is playing out today. So, Bank of America was downtrending on Friday. We've had a nice little push up today, but looks like it's a little bit more on the overbought side now. So, looking at SQs based off of how the overall market is doing, it probably should be a little bit more on the overbought side now, downtrending. Yeah, might find a support right around this general SMA line, so just watch out for that. Apple showing a very similar pattern to BAC, right? A little bit more on the overbought side. And DWT should be downtrending, very oversold. What's going on, Shannon? Yeah, right? So it's descending right now, trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, and actively downtrending due to /CL uptrending. So let's just make sure that we're aware of that. We talked about Apple, BA. Let's see. So Ricky, where do you watch the natural gas report? Well, it's on Thursdays, right? And there's a website, there's a link that we all share, where you can get access to the natural gas report. Ticker symbol BA. Yeah, still kind of downtrending. It's consolidated as of right now. TVIX, aggressively downtrending as of right now. So /NG, nice little pop up again. Yeah, it looks like natural gas is still uptrending as of now. And IO, just a lot of consolidation. JNUG, a lot of consolidation as well. JNUG did uptrend on the day, but now it's a little bit more on the overbought side, so just be aware of that for maybe a potential pullback. Gush, as of right now, let's see. Gosh, yeah, a little bit more on the overbought side, just looking at the 1 day, 1 minute chart, previous highs. It looks like it's going to try to get there again. So Tesla back at its overall general support right around like 277 on the day. It's where it bounced up before, and then it peaked at around 280 to 281. So UWT, because of /CL still uptrending, right? DRIP is still downtrending. You guys uptrending on the day, a little bit more on the overbought side. OPTT consolidating right now. Nike still downtrending. We talked about /CL. DGAS still downtrending, oversold on the day. Why is this taking forever to load? There we go. JDST, trying to find its support. I'm going to set my alert on this one. There we go, just a lot of consolidation on this one. And then GES, still downtrending and just consolidating. Hey, what's going on, Curtis? What's up? What's up? All right. What do you guys think about natural gas? Do you still think that has the potential to continue to uptrend, a little bit more on the overbought side, oversold? It would make sense on why this thing would begin to pull back to the middle VWAP. Yeah. What? Overextended or oversold? Okay. Nice. I guess we're just gonna have to find out. If this thing continues to push up and pushes up above 2.72, I'll just have to cut losses, which will put me at a net $400 loss on you guys on DADs, right? But I still want to give a little bit more time. I honestly have just been on it or in that position for 23 minutes. And it looks like natural gas is still trying to identify its direction. It looks like it is trying to push up as of right now, but I at least want to give it the potential or the opportunity to maybe pull back, and maybe I'll just cut losses then. And if I see it, find a support again. Do you guys know what I mean? So if I see that natural gas pulls back and holds above the middle VWAP again and then begins to uptrend, then it's showing that it's still trying to uptrend on the day. So I'll just cut losses on DGAS, but at a much smaller dollar amount than where it's at right now. I could clearly see that natural gas is very overbought, and it would make sense regardless of where it will be 5, 10, or 20 days down the road, that on the 1 day, 1 minute chart it is overbought, and maybe just waiting for a little bit of a pullback would make sense. Oh, appreciate that, Samuel. Thank you. Any reason that you're not on Tesla right now? No, not necessarily. I just saw more value in natural gas right now. I mean, if this thing begins to uptrend, then yeah, definitely that could be something that I could consider. But as of right now, we can just set our alerts, and the margin is not even huge on Tesla right now, but maybe when the direction is a little bit more clear, then we can go from there. Let's see. So why did you initially take a position on DGAS? Well, I explained it. So because I saw natural gas to be overbought, so I went in with my initial position size, which is something that I do pretty often. So as I see something like right now, right? Like let's say I didn't take the position before. As of right now, when I see that natural gas is overbought and overextended, and I think that it's not only going to pull back to the middle VWAP, but going to sell off, right? Then I would take a position on the inverse ETF. But sometimes the risk of doing that before the confirmation, which I've explained multiple times before, is that it doesn't confirm a reversal and it just continues to uptrend, which is kind of where I'm at right now. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But ultimately, like especially like last week of trading, I did pretty well just like approaching it that way. But the direction was a little bit more clear. So yeah, some skin in the game, right? That's a good way to put it. Yeah, but I really do appreciate you guys' time. I also do want to apologize for the delayed live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow at Market Open. And if you guys have any questions, just feel free to shoot me a DM, and then we can kind of go from there. But let's see. Appreciate that, team. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, will you update us on DGAS? Yeah, I will update you guys. But just like I said, once this thing begins to push above like 2.715, 2.72, just know that probably at that time I'll cut losses on DGAS and give it a little bit more time for it to identify its direction. But yeah, thank you guys again for your time. Wish you guys an amazing rest of your day. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be a drive to success. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.